My dear friend, listen to me now with your heart wide open, because what I'm about to tell you isn't just another message, it's a divine summons. You didn't stumble on this by accident. You didn't press play just because you were curious. No. God brought you here. God pulled you here because the time has come for you to see what's been hidden for so long. The time has come for your true identity to be revealed, not the one the world told you to wear, not the one your pain forced you into, not the mask shaped by rejection, but the real you, the one God crafted in the silence of eternity. God is about to reveal who you really are. For far too long, you've been buried under the weight of other people's opinions. You've been called names that never belong to you. Not good enough, too broken, too old, too young, too different, too weak. But God never called you any of that. God never gave you those labels. The world did. Hurt people did. The enemy of your soul did. And you believed it. You accepted it. You carried it. But God is about to tear the veil. God is about to shake the foundations of your false identity and lift you out of the pit you never belonged in. You are not what happened to you. You are not your failures. You are not your wounds. You are not your shame. You are not your past. You are what God says you are. And God doesn't make mistakes. God doesn't make accidents. God doesn't abandon the work of His hands. There is a reason you felt like you never fit in. There's a reason your soul has always felt like it was being pulled towards something higher. It's because your spirit was never made to conform to this broken world. You were born with divine fingerprints on your soul. There is something holy about your existence. There is something sacred about your pain, and there is something mighty about your future. God didn't allow you to go through the fire just so you could smell like smoke. God allowed it so you would walk out with the strength to carry your calling. God is about to reveal who you really are. There's a war going on inside you right now, and it's not just about circumstances, it's about identity. The enemy fears what you are becoming. The darkness tried to crush you, tried to confuse you, tried to keep you buried in insecurity, anxiety, and doubt, but you're still here. You're still standing. You're still breathing. That's not just survival, that's divine purpose. You were preserved for this moment. God shielded you, even when you didn't feel Him. God was there orchestrating the breaking of your false self so the real you could rise. You see, God often hides His greatest warriors in obscurity. God conceals His chosen vessels in silence. The world doesn't see them coming because God is a master of surprise. The ones He is about to elevate are the ones who have been underestimated the most, the ones who have cried behind closed doors, the ones who have labored in the shadows, the ones who were faithful even when they were forgotten. That's you. That's who God is about to reveal. The pain you carried was never in vain. The rejection you endured was never pointless. It was all part of God's process. You were never being punished. You were being prepared. God was stripping away the fake, burning away the pride, purging the impurities, and sculpting your soul into the vessel He destined it to be. And now the time has come. The unveiling is near. The stage is being set. The spotlight is about to shift. And when God reveals who you really are, every lie that was spoken over you will fall like dust. You may have been called a nobody, but when God lifts the curtain, they will see a giant. You may have been mocked as weak, but when God opens the scroll of your destiny, they will see a warrior forged by fire. You may have been overlooked, but God never forgot you. While they were talking, God was building. While they were doubting, God was strengthening. While they were laughing, God was anointing. The world saw your struggle, but God saw your surrender. Let me speak this with all the force in my soul. You are more than you think you are. You have been under spiritual attack not because you're weak, but because you're dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. The forces of evil only attack what threatens them. The pressure you felt, it's because you carry power. The confusion you faced, it's because your clarity is coming. The isolation you endured, it's because God was separating you from the noise so you could hear His voice. God is about to reveal who you really are. You're not just a person trying to survive another day. You're a vessel of divine purpose. You're a carrier of spiritual fire. You're a threat to the lies of hell. And when God unveils you, you won't even recognize yourself, because the version of you that's about to emerge is stronger, wiser, freer, and more focused than ever before. This version of you doesn't bow to fear. This version of you walks in authority. This version of you speaks with clarity and moves with boldness. Let them underestimate you. Let them laugh. Let them dismiss you. Because when God steps in to reveal you, no man can deny what God ordains. You don't need validation from people who never saw the real you. You don't need applause. You don't need permission. You only need God. And when God says it's time, nothing on earth or in hell can stop the unveiling. There's a weight in your spirit right now because your soul senses it. Something is about to shift. That pressure in your chest, that stirring in your belly, that holy restlessness that keeps you awake at night. That's the signal. That's the trumpet of destiny sounding. That's the spiritual vibration of God peeling back the layers. You've outgrown your old skin. You've outlived the lies. The cocoon is breaking. The real you is ready to emerge. You may have looked ordinary, but God never made you to be average. You may have been counted out, but God counted you in. You may have been hidden, but now God is about to showcase you. Not for your glory, but for His. Not to boast, but to bear fruit. Not to dominate, but to demonstrate the power of a life surrendered to God. God is about to reveal who you really are. You were never meant to blend in, you were meant to stand out. Not because of your talent, not because of your charm, but because of the divine fire that burns inside of you. That fire is not random, that fire is evidence of a calling too heavy for human hands. That fire is what has kept you alive through storms that should have broken you. It is that fire that will now light the path forward. Don't be afraid of the spotlight God is about to place on you. Don't shrink back from the stage He is preparing. You've cried long enough, you've doubted long enough, you've hesitated long enough. Now is the time to rise. Now is the time to step forward. Now is the time to stop seeing yourself through the lens of your trauma and start seeing yourself through the eyes of God. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too far gone. You are exactly where God wants you to be. The timing is divine. The moment is sacred. The wind is shifting. The heavens are moving. And the same God who formed you in secret is about to expose you in power. He is about to pour oil on your head. He is about to open doors you didn't knock on. He is about to raise you up where others tried to bury you. God is about to reveal who you really are. So I say this with every ounce of truth in my being. Get ready. Get serious. Get low before God, because the unveiling is holy. The revealing is not for applause, it's for assignment. The stage is not for ego, it's for impact. The light is not for fame, it's for purpose. And you, yes you, have been chosen by God to carry something the world needs. Don't question your worth. Don't doubt your capacity. Don't second guess your journey. Every scar was preparation. Every wound was molding. Every loss was alignment. There's something different about you, and it's time you stop hiding it. It's time you stop apologizing for it. It's time you stop minimizing what God magnified. There is no humility in pretending to be less than what God created. There is no honor in shrinking away from your destiny. Stand tall, speak bold, walk with fire in your bones and the echo of heaven in your voice, because God is about to shout through your life in a way that silences every critic. God is about to reveal who you really are. Even when you don't feel ready, God is. Even when your hands still tremble, God's hand is steady. Even when your voice shakes, God's voice thunders. You were never meant to do it alone. God is with you. God is in you. And when God is in the room, fear has to leave. When God moves, no one can block it. When God speaks, every false identity must bow. You are about to be crowned not by men, but by truth. You are about to walk in a name God gave you before time began. Get ready. God has been watching your hidden faithfulness. God has seen the silent tears. God has recorded the prayers you whispered when no one else was around. And now, God is ready to reveal the one He's been building in the shadows. The real you, the powerful you, the fearless you, the faithful you, the unshakable you. The revelation that is coming is not a display of ego, it is a release of purpose. It is not about being seen by man, but being seen by God as ready. This unveiling is sacred, it is divine, it is heavy with responsibility, because when God reveals who you truly are, He doesn't just elevate you, He entrusts you with influence, with truth, with light. He entrusts you to walk into places where others have bowed and to stand. He entrusts you to speak when others have gone silent. He entrusts you to carry a fire that cannot be extinguished by fear, criticism, or pressure. God reveals those who are willing to be refined. If you've endured the heat, it's because God has been preparing the vessel. If you've been isolated, it's because God was removing distractions. If you felt broken, it's because God was breaking off the pieces that didn't belong to your divine identity. You thought you were being crushed, but God was actually reshaping you. And when God reshapes, He does not consult your past. He commands your future. When God lifts the veil, the world will not see your scars first. They will see your strength. But remember, that strength was forged in the night. It was built in seasons where no one saw, no one clapped, and no one understood. That is where God does His greatest work. In the unseen, in the misunderstood, in the forgotten corners of your journey. God was there, chiseling you like a sculptor. And now the unveiling is near, not because of who you are alone, but because of what God is about to do through you. You've wondered why doors closed. You've questioned why certain people walked away. But what you didn't see was that God was protecting your becoming. Some places were too small for what you carry. Some relationships were too weak to handle your weight. God removed them not to punish you, but to prepare the environment where the real you could emerge fully. When God reveals you, it must be in the right setting. God doesn't light a lamp to be hidden under a basket. He places it on a stand so that it gives light to the whole room. But with that light comes responsibility. When God reveals the real you, you can no longer hide behind excuses. You can no longer play small or wait for the perfect moment. You must move when God says move. You must speak when God stirs your spirit. You must act when God commands. Because to be revealed by God is to be activated by Him. This is not a cosmetic transformation. It is not about the outer appearance. It is the emergence of the soul, fueled by God, cleansed by trials, and focused by calling. Do not be surprised if the people closest to you do not understand this transformation. God is not revealing you for their approval. God is revealing you for His purpose. Those who only knew your wounds will struggle to recognize your strength. Those who only knew your silence will be stunned by your voice. Those who only knew your past will be shocked by your purpose. But their opinions do not define you, God does. And when God defines a soul, no opinion can rewrite that identity. This season of revelation will also expose what is false around you. God does not lift the true without shaking off the fake. As the real you emerges, people and patterns that once surrounded you will fall away. Don't chase what God is removing. Don't mourn what God is deleting. If God is cutting ties, it is because your elevation requires protection. The weight of your destiny demands a cleaner atmosphere. You can't soar with anchors tied to your feet. The real you, the one God is about to reveal, will not be intimidated by the opinions of the world. That version of you walks with clarity. That version of you no longer seeks validation from temporary places. That version of you is rooted in God's voice, and nothing else matters. When God becomes your foundation, you can weather any storm, face any giant, and walk through any fire, knowing that you are not alone. You are not rising for comfort, you are rising for war. Spiritual war, mental war, war against lies, war against fear. And God is about to reveal the version of you that is not afraid to speak truth in a generation addicted to noise. You are being revealed for such a time as this, not to blend in, but to blaze, not to echo, but to proclaim, not to entertain, but to awaken. When God reveals who you really are, your posture changes. You no longer walk timidly, you walk boldly. You no longer seek attention, you carry presence. You no longer try to fit in, you create space. And you no longer fear failure because you understand that when God reveals, He also sustains. God doesn't just bring you forward, He equips you. This new version of you will come with divine confidence, not arrogance. Confidence rooted in the fact that God's hand is on you. Confidence rooted in the fact that you've been tested, you've been tried, and you've been found faithful. God is not revealing you because you're perfect. He's revealing you because you're ready. And being ready doesn't mean you won't feel fear. It means fear no longer controls you. It means doubt no longer paralyzes you. It means shame no longer defines you. You're ready because God says so. And when God says you're ready, you don't wait for another sign. You rise, you speak, you move, you act in alignment with heaven's timing. This season is sacred, it is weighty, it is filled with supernatural transition. And if you listen closely, you will sense that God is stirring your name in rooms you haven't walked into yet. God is orchestrating connections you don't even know about yet. God is aligning resources, opening doors, and assigning angels to walk with you. Why? Because the version of you He is about to reveal is not just for your benefit, it's for the breakthrough of others. When God reveals you, your life becomes a message. Your journey becomes a testimony. Your scars become stories of survival. Your pain becomes a platform. And your voice becomes an instrument in the hand of the Almighty. Don't despise the path you took to get here. It was never about speed. It was about surrender. And now, because you've surrendered, God is about to showcase what obedience births. There is no need to compare. God reveals each soul in its appointed season. Your time is not late. Your path is not lost. The revelation is right on schedule. And what God is about to unfold through you will make sense of every moment you thought was wasted. The waiting wasn't a delay, it was a divine investment. Now is the moment to shed the old skin, to break the shell, to walk in the full expression of what God placed in you before the foundation of the earth. You are not a mistake. You are not an afterthought. You are not forgotten. You are called. You are chosen. You are about to be revealed. And when God reveals who you really are, the world will not be the same. Because the unveiling of a person filled with the power of God shifts everything. It changes rooms, it redirects legacies, it shakes atmospheres, it destroys strongholds, and it liberates the oppressed. So do not look to the left or the right, do not look backward, look up. Keep your eyes on God. For what is coming cannot be stopped by man, cannot be delayed by demons, cannot be stolen by enemies. It belongs to you, not because you earned it, but because God ordained it. He formed you in silence, He built you in struggle, He purified you through fire, and now He is revealing you in power. Stand firm, stay humble, stay close to God. For the revelation that is coming will mark the beginning of something greater than you can imagine. You are about to walk not just in visibility, but in divine clarity, knowing who you are, because you finally understand whose you are, and that changes everything. The soul that God has been shaping is about to rise with an authority it never knew it carried. There's a boldness coming over you that is not born of pride, it is born of revelation. When God opens your eyes to who you truly are, fear must flee. When God peels back the curtain of confusion and lets you see the divine design within you, you stop asking for permission to exist. You stop second-guessing your instinct. You stop apologizing for your strength. Because when God reveals identity, He also ignites purpose. And when purpose is lit by the fire of God, no force in this world can extinguish it. You were created to disrupt darkness. That's why the storms were relentless. That's why you felt the weight of battles others never saw. Because the enemy doesn't waste ammunition on those with no potential. You weren't under attack because you were weak. You were under attack because your presence threatens systems of evil. But the darkness underestimated your endurance. It underestimated the one who was holding you. It forgot that when God is the architect of your destiny, no demon can destroy the foundation. This is more than a season of increase. This is a season of awakening. God is not just increasing what you have, God is awakening who you are. And as your spirit awakens, so too does your influence. The real you is not someone timidly waiting to be acknowledged. The real you is not a shadow of who others told you to be. The real you is a force of righteousness infused with God's power and ready to walk in the earth as a vessel of unshakable purpose. Do not look at your surroundings to measure what's coming. God's revelations often begin in obscurity. The seed doesn't sprout overnight. But beneath the soil, things are moving. Roots are forming. Strength is developing. The deeper the root, the higher the rise. God didn't allow you to be buried. He planted you. And now that you've stayed planted in faith, the time of sprouting is here. You will rise not because of your timing, but because of God's perfect timing. What's about to happen in your life will be undeniable. You won't have to explain it. You won't have to campaign for it. When God reveals you, it will speak for itself. The light He places on you will carry such clarity that confusion will have no room to breathe. You've tried to explain your journey to those who could never understand your depth, but now you won't need words. Your walk will say it all. Your actions will echo in realms you've never seen, because the real you, the one God formed through fire, is about to be set loose in the world. You're not stepping into popularity, you're stepping into power. There's a difference. Popularity fades, power remains. Power doesn't come from position, it comes from divine alignment. When God breathes on your name, it doesn't matter who tried to bury it. When God says rise, not even the grave of your own doubt can hold you. You may have been through seasons where you lost your voice, where you lost your confidence, but you never lost your calling.